Hello, welcome back to the Truth to You podcast. I'm here in the Mamertine prison. Kind of hard to believe that this is where I am, but it's an exciting place to see with my eyes, and yet it's a sobering thing to behold. For a little context here, this is really, when we talk about Paul, we're talking about the end of his life. This is where his earthly journey ended, and the Lord took him on to glory, where he's been ever since. He comes back to Rome. He was under house arrest for 2 years. He was let go. And then, get my lighting right here. Then they brought him back, and eventually to be beheaded outside the city. Historically, this is connected to a massive event in Roman history. Nero wanted to do some building. The Senate said no. This is the short of it. And for that reason, he set fire to the city. 2/3 of the city burned down. He needed a scapegoat in that, and so he blamed the Christians. And so in regards to that, he begins taking up some of the prominent leaders that included the Apostle Paul. So the Apostle Paul gets rounded up. Again, he spent 2 years under house arrest in Rome, but he eventually was let go for a time, and then they brought him back, most likely, to this place. And he would have been lowered into the floor right over here. And you take a walk down these stairs. I'm gonna try to do that in a second. There's some people here. You know, it's the stairs that go down behind, but nonetheless, he would have been lowered down here. It's very dark down there. It's very moist. You can imagine that a lot of sickness. Could have been fostered there. And then, of course, not to mention how he would have gotten by. It's just a place in the ground, and you'll see that here in just a second. I'll show that to you. But nonetheless, he would write a couple of what we call prison epistles here. 2 Timothy for sure. A lot of people think maybe Philemon was written from here, Titus, and as you read 2 Timothy, you really sense that he understood that the Lord was going to take him home soon, and that his earthly journey was ended. I'm reminded of some of the things that he said. He said, I'm now ready to be offered up. He saw his life as almost a drink offering being poured out. You see being poured out in the scriptures. You see that language mentioned. And, he says, I've fought a good fight. I've kept the faith. And what a testimony the Apostle Paul was to all of us, and continues to be. I'm going to go ahead and try to walk down here. And the orientation of my camera here is facing me, so this is going to be a little tricky. I'll try not to fall down, but as you can see, we're going down here. This would have been where the Apostle Paul, I don't know what the lighting's going to do, it's where he would have been kept. And also the Apostle Peter. A lot of people believe that they may have even been kept here at the same time. I don't know if you can see this. A little bit of light down here. There's a lot of moisture in the air. He would have been lowered through that hole in the floor, and then just kind of left for himself. And he's here, he's waiting, he's writing, and he's redeeming the time until the Lord takes him home. And so, as tradition states, he would leave the Mamertine prison. He would be taken outside the city, and he would have been beheaded. Peter, shortly thereafter, would have followed the same fate. As tradition has it, he was marched over to what now is the Vatican City, or the St. Peter's Basilica. I was there earlier today, and there's a massive. They call it St. Peter's Square. It's actually a circle, but they would have put him to death there. And of course, if you're up with tradition as well, they crucified him upside down. So Nero, that's a whole nother topic we could talk about. He was a wicked man. Some might even say that he was possessed or heavily influenced by the devil. He would do so many things to try to discredit Christianity or even wipe it out. But obviously we know the rest of the story. The winds of Christianity swept across to this area and continued out as the gospel of Jesus Christ continued on and on. But what a blessing to be able to see some of the places that we know the Apostle Paul, his footsteps were, and yet very sobering. And as I'm walking out now, I'm sort of thinking in my own life. I'm thinking, the Lord gives us only so much time. And to be able to get to the end of your life and to say very confidently, hey, I've fought a good fight, I've kept the faith. And even in the spirit of being in prison, knowing that he would die, the courage that he was able to exhibit, and the faithfulness to the Lord, it challenges my life. And so as I sign off here, let's be faithful. The Lord is worthy. And I can't wait. One day we're all going to be able to sit down with Paul and find out a little bit more in-depthly about what his time was here and what it was like spreading the gospel and those first-generation Christians, so to speak. Take care.